The first thing you should know about Shinto is that it is a religion based in Japan. Shinto does not have a founder, nor does it have any sacred sculptures or a Bible. Propaganda and preaching are not very common in this religion, because Shinto is deeply rooted into Japanese culture, people, and traditions. Because there is no true founder of the Shinto religion, there is no exact date when it was created. Although the religion doesn't necessarily have a Bible, it does have over 800 different myths and legends. This religion is primarily based in Japan. It is a huge part of the Japanese culture, but it also can be found in other places too. Even in the US, there are roughly 10 Shinto shrines. 7 of them are in Hawaii, 1 of them is in Colorado, and the other one is in Washington, D.C. Some scientists believe that because Shinto is mainly engraved into the Japanese culture, it actually gives the Japanese more nationalism, because they don't tend to fight a lot over religion, and it is just a part of their everyday life. Some of the main messages of Shinto are life and finding happiness within it, and peace and harmony. The religion is mainly based on being in harmony with everything in your life. Although there are no gods in Shinto, there is a thing called kami. Kami is equivalent to a Shinto god. They are basically spirits that take forms of different things such as humans, animals, or even inanimate objects. Humans become kami after they die. The sun goddess is their main kami. Although she isn't really a god to them, she is the main kami of the religion. Shinto literature tends to be focused mainly on the interpretation of mythology. They work just like Greek mythology. They are short stories that are made to tell either a message or a life lesson. There are over 800 different myths in the Shinto community. One very important one is called the Land of the Dead.
The Land of the Dead. Izami was badly burned during the birth of the kami of fire and died. This was the first death of the world. Izagi was furious with sorrow and beheaded the child he blamed for his wife's death. Other kami were born from the blood of the execution. Izagi was grief-stricken and went in search of her in the underworld. Yami, the land of the dead. When he found her, Izami had eaten the fruit of the dead and might be doomed to stay in Yami forever. Izami made Izagi a promise not to look at her, but to give her the time to consult with the rulers of the underworld to see if they would let her return to the land of the living. After a while, Izagi broke his promise and went to look for her. When he found her, he saw her body and it was rotted and full of maggots. Izagi was horrified and tried to return to the land of the living, but his wife/sister, angry and ashamed to see him in the state of decay, pursued him so that she could force him to live with her in the underworld forever. Izagi escaped and blocked the entrance to Yami with a boulder so that Izami could not follow him, forming a permanent barrier between the two worlds of the living and the dead. Izami was furious and said that every day from that moment on she would kill 1,000 people. Izanagi replied, saying that he would create 1,500 newborn babies each day.
The main message of that myth was that kami are not immortal. They are valuable and they can die. When kami die, they rot, just like human beings. Kami have feelings and they suffer from behaviorment just like human beings. Death is a bad thing that disrupts the harmony of a community, and that human beings should keep away from anything that has to do with death. So the message of that one was based mainly off of kami and death, but there are also a bunch of different topics and messages throughout all of these myths and legends. 2 other main legends are called the Power of Purification and Amarasi and Zatsu. The Shinto religion can be practiced in multiple different ways. For most people, they just go to a shrine every once in a while whenever it is convenient for them, on holidays, or even special occasions. So in the Japanese culture, it is very common to go to a Shinto college, have a Shinto wedding, or practice it daily. It is not a very strict religion. They don't really have any set rules. They are mainly based on good morals. The everyday life of someone who practices Shinto wouldn't be much different than yours or mine. And because there is no Bible or holy script, most people who practice Shinto don't really study very much. They just try to live their life with good morals. But one thing people do when they enter a shrine is they can bring some different offerings. One of the offerings that some people bring is called a shide. This is just a paper zigzag that is super simple to make.
So all you will need to make the shide is one piece of paper, either a calligraphy paper like they use in Japan or just a normal piece, and some scissors. The first thing you're going to have to do is fold the paper hot dog style. And then take your scissors and start cutting about 2/3 of the way down the paper, just like I'm showing here. And you just keep on flipping each side until you've reached the other end. Once you've done that, it'll be in this kind of zigzagged shape, and what you're going to do is start to fold it just like I'm showing here. And it's kind of complicated to explain, but all you have to do is basically flip each one of the pieces over and then make a little crease so it creates this long zigzag. Then it is finished, and in Japan they would use these and they could give it as an offering, and the reason why they might like this is to either use it as decoration, or the shrine can use the pieces of paper, just like I'm showing here, tear them off and put the stamp of the shrine on it to hand out to people to advertise that specific shrine. That is not what they're always used for. They're mostly used for decoration, but that's just one use for them.
In contrast to a lot of different religions, there are no absolutes in Shinto. There is no right or wrong, and nobody is perfect. Shinto is mainly an optimistic faith. Humans are thought to be fundamentally good, and evil is believed to be caused by evil spirits. Consequently, the purpose of most Shinto rituals is to keep evil spirits away. Some of the differences between Shinto and Christianity is that in Shinto there's no God, and in Christianity there is one main God. In Shinto there is no set holy script, and in Christianity there is a Bible. In Christianity is mainly based on different rules and right or wrong, but Shinto is really moral based and optimistic. Shinto is a little more loosely based than Christianity, and Christianity is almost a stricter religion because it has a bunch of different rules and certain dates and holidays to celebrate.
All in all, Shinto and Christianity do have their similarities, but they are pretty different religions.
I personally do not practice Shinto. However, I do in some instances realize now that I could possibly be doing it without even realizing it. In our everyday lives, we try to be morally good, or just good people. And that is mainly what Shinto is all about. Even though we don't live in Japan, I'll follow some of the same morals, rules, and lifestyle. Even if you don't really strive to be in harmony with everything, you can just be doing it without even thinking about it. So in reality, a lot of us actually practice Shinto almost every day without even realizing it, like myself. Even if we're not in Japan or we don't practice it, Shinto makes a big impact on our lives. That is only a little bit of what you need to know about Shinto. If you want to find out anything more about Shinto, you can click on the annotation here and it'll take you to a 40-minute documentary all about it. So now that you know a little bit about Shinto, hopefully you can think about it in your everyday life.